Yeah.
Wow, hello everyone.
Woo!
Because that's how we're starting off the show now. I am your temporary host,
Ah,
Michael Dello. Yeah, temporary because the great Carlos abandons the team Della Torre. Just kidding,
But
Carlos.
at
But
what moment would all the big spotlight thing of the intro will come in though?
I know, dude. That
oh,
would
the
have been
big
perfect.
spotlight thing.
Yeah. That one.
Screw it. The intro is just Yoko dancing right now. That's all we need.
Exactly. And then bam.
Green screen it.
Yes, I am your host for today, and let me welcome the room. Wow, I really don't know how to host this podcast. How crazy! We have joining us John Eric Castro, actor perspective extraordinaire, and Pink Man Dan.
You know, guys, I'm still mad because these two folks, Yoko and the Law, said that Joaquin Phoenix would have been better for Split.
That's an
Get outta
episode
here,
ago.
man. Get past me, man. Go
Okay,
to the next
we
one.
have somebody who can weigh in on that. Sanchez, think about it. Joaquin Phoenix Split. Do you think it would have gone to Oscar award winning levels?
Eric, please
of
flirt with it
acting.
in your mind. Have it flirted.
No, I have nothing nice to say about M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh.
But I would think that was one of your
So Joaquin Phoenix would be wasted in that movie.
Oh,
Oh man, like
the best comeback.
no, he
He wanted
was
support.
saying we're like, the movie was good, but if Joaquin was there, it would have been like Joker. It would have just boom, Oscar award winning M. Night Shyamalan film. But I haven't finished introducing the room. We also have the great Christian Yokomoto Medina joining us.
Why, hello, fellows and fillets.
Fillets indeed. We have the fillet of the hour. We have our editor and producer Austin Young joining us.
Hey,
That was a
Ain't that the
firm
voice
howdy.
of God right there?
howdy, partner.
And helping us out, we have a special guest. His hair is long, his personality is short, and his name is Eric Sanchez,
Ooh, the devil himself.
the devil himself. And he's helping us out because we need somebody with a firm appreciation and knowledge of this film. Death Sentence, 2007's Death Sentence by James Wan. You may know him from Saw. You may know him from Aquaman. He's just that guy who seems to bust out, I don't know, like really heavy-hitting films.
He's one of the new school horror filmmakers.
Yeah,
But
the Law,
can you even
say it like you're surprised that he's gotten a good film after a good film? Why do you
No,
sound surprised?
No, here's what I'm saying. I didn't know that he played such a role from being like the Saw guy to then he did like Furious 7. What else did he do? Like,
And not
he
just that, he started The Conjuring. He started Insidious,
The
which are also
Conjuring.
temple horror.
Yeah.
He's like
now.
a big producer, right? Like he mostly produces now a lot. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at this point, yeah.
He produced the new Mortal Kombat. James Wan, it just seems like he's hitting really hard when it comes to like big budget films, very popular films. Even like I'm seeing right now, Aquaman 2, he's a producer for. So I'm surprised how much this guy was, I guess, a sleeper. And in my knowledge, I had no idea that he was just putting out a bunch of like films that are starting to get like, I guess, kind of either popularity or recognition. Not even starting, like The Conjuring. I know it's like one of Ashley's favorite films, like horror films of all time, just because
One of my favorite.
yeah, that whole world that it kind of like sparked up. But yeah, we're talking about his 2007 Kevin Bacon. No, wait, yes, Kevin Bacon
Yes.
hit
Yes.
Death Sentence. I think this was
Well, sadly to say, it was not a hit.
it's a hit.
Apparently not. I had
It hit my heart, if that's what it meant. If that's
Okay.
what you meant by that.
It's something that, as I've seen reviews for and as people talked about, it's one of those things that a lot of people I think might have went under the radar, but it's starting to kind of come back. Like I saw a couple of like reviews in like 2019, 2020 that are starting to say like, oh wow, this was such a sleeper film for being like a good revenge story. With Kevin Bacon, I mean, a Footloose guy, like of all people. But yeah, as far as its initial success, it was a $20 million budget and then ended up only making about $60 million back. But
You
it's a
had to
sleeper.
throw that in there, huh?
I had to throw it in there because that's just to say it's a sleeper right now. But I mean, it seems like it's coming back prominently. I don't know.
That's
first
when
of
you
all-
know that the movie was made with love, you know?
It was made with love. It definitely seemed like that nice kind of, I don't know. It almost has a passion project vibe to it. It seems like something that they probably had a lot of fun making, a lot of fun trying to put together.
Well, I read differently. I read that it went through a couple of rewrites where they had to do something because there was another book called Death Wish or something by somebody else.
Death Wish is a old movie. It's a
by Bronson, right?
Bronson. Charles Bronson.
Mm-hmm.
So the original writer for that one, I think, created Death Sentence, but they didn't want to sell it. So when they were filming this, so this is what I read. That when they were filming, they had to change the name from the main guy from John to
Kevin Bacon.
To Paul, and then to what his name was. So I heard that they had a little bit of trouble just to get some
things that, especially in theme wise, like you could see all the similarities. So you could definitely see that how it could be a problem. Just
surprisingly,
so you've seen Death Wish then? I haven't seen any of those movies. I'm familiar with them, but like I'm
back in the day, man. The original action guy.
Yeah, that actor. He's a action guy. Like he comes out in a lot of movies from.
I always used to confuse him with that Reynolds guy.
Burt
Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. They kind of have that similar vibe to him.
Oh, that's crazy, man. I thought Death Sentence was based on a novel. Apparently, I think we all read different things.
I think we did.
I think well, yeah, probably.
I don't know. I feel like this is going to be an interesting episode just because I want to get everybody's take. Okay, so if everybody can recall their first time, Yoko, this is your pick. I did not bring that up, but this is your pick. So do you want to kind of kick off? Yeah, you wave hi, say hi to your mom. Do you want to kind of say what your first experience was? What was your first experience with?
I wasn't when I was a kid, kind of like around like 13, 14 when this movie came out. I was in Mexico. I lived in Mexico, and the movie came out over there direct to DVD. And I just remember I had just seen Saw. I was kind of getting introduced into the whole horror genre. So once I saw in the title it says from the director of Saw. I was like, let's see what this is. So I go in there and it got me. Like it was like one of those, especially there's these filmmaking techniques that James Wan does that for a good amount of time, especially like my filmmaking development, I took a lot of that things, especially a lot of the action scenes that are in this movie.
Exactly.
Well, yeah. Needless to say, this was a good inspiration for me as I was developing.
I'm trying to find out exactly what the award was called, but apparently it did get a couple of nominations for like I think it's like stunt doubles or like basically the people who do like fight choreography and all that. Like a couple of nominations as far as like best fight best fight scene,
like stunt performers.
Yeah, stunt performers, like best fight scene, and then I think like best action sequence or something like that. So as far as the action goes, it did get a little bit of buzz for that.
Well, that's one of my favorite scenes, the one where they finally catch up to him in the house. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And when they have to bust through the stairs before he gets shot with the shotgun.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite scenes.
A lot of props blowing up in that movie too, like shit getting blown to pieces, like in the set. That's pretty fun.
It's so very practical. That's what I love.
Yeah, it's very practical.
Very practical.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about it. So,
do you want to go next, Sanchez? Do you remember the first time you saw this?
I want to hear you. Michael.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see. I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Let me put my take on it. Let me put my take on it.
You don't want my take.
Exactly, because we're gonna come next to you.
Okay.
So do I go?
Yes, you go.
With this one, to me, is like
dig yourself up, and then
it's one of those films that you don't need a big budget. Like I know the lighting is kind of weird. Some of the camera angles.
No. That's not a problem.
That's what you don't like. That's why I'm going with this.
Anyway, keep going.
It's a good script. It's good acting. Kevin Bacon, the father that's going out for revenge.
Yeah.
Bad guys. John Goodman. Come on, man. He can't do any bad roles.
I was scared that John Goodman was only going to like pop out for 5 seconds, and then we didn't see him for like a good chunk of the film. I was like, oh no, could he? I was worried that it kind of fell to one of those like his contract said I can only do like 30 seconds of screen time, and then he had to like leave somewhere. But then I was happy to see him come back.
Yeah. But yeah, to me, it's one of those where you don't need a big budget, man. It's follow the script, follow the characters, get into it. You know, it's like, what is going to happen next? Like, I feel like a couple of those scenes were kind of hard to like you wonder how you would shoot them, right? Like when the first time his son gets slashed.
Yeah.
The way they approached it, right? He's running towards him. He's like, is he going to run towards the son or the last guy that's running out, right? Like, so you can have in case he dies. Those are the type of scenes that I love, that you don't really see a big budget in. You just need a good acting, a good scene,
good direction.
Exactly.
And when you know how to build up that suspense.
Yeah, everybody thinks that's
see
easy,
the exact
but
shot.
Yeah, with the vehicles and their lights off and shit. He shouldn't have done shit.
And tell me,
not that it has anything related to it, but that was pretty, like, I guess tension, you know, like, because you know they're like bad news. These vehicles like going with their lights off. And then this guy, hey, turn on your lights. You know, he does a little like signal to them. And then you see them again back at the gas station, and you're like, oh fuck! Like, it's a pretty like harsh scene. Like,
exactly.
You know,
and then
they kids and shit.
They just shoot the shopkeeper and like
and it's like in a split of a second. It felt realistic, sort of like they don't. Usually movies tend to do like a lot of dialogue before you kill someone. This one, they just shoot the fuck out of this guy trying to reach for a gun.
Exactly. That's why I wanted Carlos, man. You don't need dialogue.
Squirts. It was crazy. But it was pretty disturbing how they just killed in cold blood this poor innocent kid. And the dad has to deal with like the whole thing and blah, blah, blah. So, and then the rest is history, right?
Apparently, in the director's cut for the film, that scene actually did play out longer, and I think it was one of those kind of like, we need to kill you because we are a gang, and I think they probably like over-explained it, but basically that thing was a little bit,
not as much.
Oh, really? Yeah. You saw it? Because I just saw the theatrical, and I think like it balanced out, like you were saying, that like tension. And
you only saw the theatrical one.
Oh,
it's a rookie move. Always watch the uncut.
I haven't watched the uncut.
Uncut gems.
Well, something little kind of strange that I noticed. So usually, like up to this point, I noticed that I only, especially since I have the movie. Let me see here. I have the movie. Woo.
Oh, look at that.
So I have the unrated cut, right? Both of them. Well, it has both.
Ooh.
So the thing is that I rewatched the movie, see the whole thing. Oh, cool. So then I rewatched it again with my wife, and with her, especially since we have a baby and everything. We put it in Spanish, so it will be that easy. It'll be easier on her to kind of get through the dialogue. Mm-hmm. Well, that's where I noticed exactly what changes were from the theatrical cut, because when you see it dubbed in Spanish, out of nowhere, it goes English in a couple of scenes because they just didn't bother to dub it in Spanish.
They didn't dub those parts.
So like I know exactly which scenes were the ones that they put in the unrated cut.
Oh, really?
You'd be surprised. A lot of movies do that.
Really?
Like, suddenly I'm watching a movie, but I'm not sure if I'm like someone rented it or like it's on TV or something. And suddenly it's in Spanish and then suddenly it's in English. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And they just like don't dub that part. They haven't
got to dub it.
But I always wonder why. Like, so it could have been something like that. I'm like, it was an uncut version and they just didn't dub the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's interesting. I don't know.
That's crazy. Well,
Delo, you're avoiding. I feel like
I'm not.
Film.
I want to hear your depth.
You know what? You know what? I'll take the heat. I'll take all the heat. I'm an asshole. Like I'm one of those people.
No, but that's fine. We want to see why you.
You're gonna love this movie. And that's it.
That's you know what?
It's a shame Carlos isn't here. So.
Yeah, dude, because I know he didn't like it.
No, because like I feel. Like because I've seen films like what is it called, The Equalizer and John Wick and like really action heavy films, and like when I watch them like either with my family or like my dad and all that kind of stuff, they just settle so well, and I can get into that headspace and just enjoy all the action scenes and like you said, the practicals of it all. Yeah, definitely, for sure. With this one,
those are way more polished, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, but even this one, like, I mean, all the practical effects and seeing what like they had to kind of like go through and like the montage sequences. Like my favorite one was when they're in that parking garage, where if you actually look at it, it's a whole wonder for that scene of like the gang coming in and chasing, and Kevin Bacon like running around trying to like hit all the cars so that way it distracts them, and it's going back and forth from like top level, bottom level, so you're getting that tension of like, when are they gonna finally meet, you know? So
I feel like you would have criticized those because some of those camera angles are kind of weird when he's going up the level.
No, like those were admirable because of the skill it took to like go from like a crane then down to a person, so he could run with Kevin Bacon back onto the crane, then like back onto like an operator, so that way they could run around. And then plus, if you look at it, it's really hard because basically the cam op has to like hide in these tiny little corners so you don't see them. So then that way they can just kind of pop in, grab the camera, and then keep following everybody. So no, that part was extremely impressive. Now here's the thing. I think I went way too into like trying to see like, well, what were they trying to do that was different? What was that innovative like catch? What was that filmmaker Oscar level, like, I guess
putting yourself
like,
back in 2007, right? Because it was released.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I did too much of that, and because of that, I wasn't able to just kind of sit down and appreciate it and enjoy it, and just take it for what it is. So in that, I was so confused at why certain things were happening. Like I was just like the scene where the son gets his like throat slit, and then we have this like zoom in on the Slurpee hitting the floor, and then like Kevin Bacon running and like holding his son, and then he doesn't die there, he dies in the hospital. So I was just I was confused. I didn't know why.
At it being realistic or the way it was shot.
I guess realistic. I was like, why is he dying at the hospital when his throat's slit? And then Kevin Bacon, I think, is just shaking him around. He's not really like putting pressure. He's just kind of like, why, son? why are you dying?
I mean, so although some people might have that reaction, especially someone who's never even prepared for death.
That's true.
So
That's true.
Like, whoa, hey.
The thing is,
like Kevin Bacon's acting skills kind of like had to be over dramatic so he could carry on the film.
They had to be. They had to, like, for what they did build tension in like those scenes. They built tension in the office when the detective comes. Okay, there's that fine line of it's either comical or if it's like just enough so that way it carries the point. But like his hands all bandaged after like stabbing the gang member, and then Kevin Bacon's like, "Oh, I didn't do that," and then like trying to like,
she's not gonna ask.
No, like I know, like the detective's there and like. Oh, so we found him dead. Thought you should know. And he's like, that's weird. And then just trying to tuck his hand away. I that was so absurd.
That's crazy. How do you see all that? Like when I saw it, it's basically like every other movie, what they do that. Like it's obvious like that. Okay, you're already suspicious of something, but like they don't have to prove to like just take you in. Nah, you got a bandage in your hand.
And that is true. What Eric is saying, they need more proof to just put handcuffs on
actual proof, like he was there. You know.
That's a one-on-one for cops, and like, do you have?
That's the difference between the gang members and the cop, because the gang members, all they hear is the guy in a suit, and boom, that they just kind of already know what the fuck that was all about.
And it was pretty cool because she said, "No, we think it's gang related." I was like, "Yeah, I'm scot-free."
And then like the cop, I mean, she assumes she's already suspicious about it. But I mean, what can she do? She can't do anything about it because she doesn't have
and it's true because detectives go into whatever lead they can. So it's
also that cop, like, what the hell? When Kevin Bacon's in the hospital after being in like a coma or something because he just got shot.
Dude, that scene when he goes and watches his kid, that tense. We're talking about tension.
That the tension was there. They did it well, but also, like, this guy's mentally unstable, wants to go after gangs, and you're gonna put him in a room with a window where he could just jump out of. Like, she's like, oh no.
It
jumped out a window.
It just happened.
I will say it is kind of weird how he would, especially he just comes out of that like hurt and everything. Like how the fuck did he get over that window?
Oh my god, he just
window, like,
jumps out. You know when you lose your kid, adrenaline, you have superpowers. That's what happens.
Superpowers. How many kids have you lost?
It's the movie plot protecting them, all right? Like, every movie has that. Like, they jump off a building and they're still fine. It's just a scratch.
And then,
whatever.
We're talking about the fact that when, like, the family gets shot, the kid, first one to get shot in the head. Like, of all places, you're like, oh, that sucks. Like the tension was there, like, his son died. Like, his second son died. Now he has nothing to live for. and then his wife gets shot in, I don't know, like the ribs or the boob or something, something critical. But then she dies,
gunshot is critical.
and the guy who got shot in the head doesn't die. Like,
dude, have you not seen those 2020 or those, ID Discovery? Things happen. People survive.
And I mean, that doesn't matter. What matters is that the wife dies.
Richard Ramirez he's shot people in the face, in the head, and there's a lot of survivors that survived.
Exactly.
And a lot of the victims survived that.
But
yeah,
I mean,
they're
not okay.
Dula Blangata, and
yeah, but I mean, like, don't you feel like the film should have like flipped it? Like maybe the son gets shot in, I don't know, the chest where it could be critical, but it's not critical, and then the wife gets shot in the head, and that's how she died.
No, you're missing the whole point.
I mean, maybe, yeah. Like,
I do think that might have been a bit more of a problem. The fact that he was still kind of an amateur filmmaker, and the way he blocked everything, he just sold it for the tension instead of like actual placement.
Well, you could definitely tell that there was tension there because I mean, like when Kevin Bacon's running, and then just both of his family, the last people that are left, get shot in front of him, like that. I mean, I think it's kind of like a jaw dropper for most people watching the film, just because you're feeling like, oh, that was the one thing he was trying to protect. Even like calling the cops and saying, can you be outside, and trying to like tell the detective, like, the gang's after me, can you put me in witness protection or something? And then like they die in front of him. Like that's tragic, I
it's kind of like the consequences of revenge, like he fucked up, like, and then like he messed with the wrong gang members, or like he decided to do, how they always talk, or they always try to give you that pep talk, revenge is always bad, it doesn't bring you anything good, and consequences, but whatever, right?
How did they find out it was him, the gang?
The newspaper, they just connected everything. They basically connected everything with the guy who killed the son.
And because of the sister of one of the gang members that lived in the same apartment building that the gang member lived.
Oh, that's right, her.
So also, she recognized that there was a guy in a suit there. And so they're like, hey, there's this guy who, remember the kid that we killed?
Okay.
Also, he threw his briefcase with personal contact information.
That was later.
Yeah, that's with the photo. That's true.
I mean, in the moment, he had to run faster or something. Dead weight. But ultimately, that fucked him up. That fucked him over either way.
Superman speed.
You just go running and out of nowhere.
He should have tossed that somewhere even farther or something, or he should have thought about going back for it.
Exactly, right?
I love is that I think that proved that like there's no real graceful way to like be chucking a briefcase while running full speed. Like, I mean, the motion was so. It was kind of.
It was so absurd. Man, they probably just had one take.
I mean, no, you know what? I can't even blame him, because Castro, like, if we told you, like, run as fast as you can, but also chuck this, like, very full briefcase.
Oh, you guys, I'm probably going to do it twice. If I got
like half your body would go flying, and then you're just, like, trying to, like, get back in balance. No, but I mean, positive things with the film. I feel like it did know where it wanted tension, and I feel like that's all James Wan's like sensibilities, especially like with the Saw films. I think he had good practice at how do you create tension, and how do you like ease out the tension for like the next scene or sequence or something like that, because you could definitely tell where he was trying to put in the music to kind of like emphasize those somber moments or those tense moments. And then with the film's like color palette choice, you knew what he was kind of going for.
What was it, like a gloomy kind of?
It was gloomy. It was high contrast.
It was like a popular like thing back then. That filter, like contrast, super contrast shit.
It felt like a 2007 film, because it was like at the time when they were like getting.
It really shows what it came from, because like I recently saw Hostel 2. And it has the same filter. Like, it's just so contrast. Like,
there's this other movie called Vacancy with Luke Wilson, and also it kind of has that same type of.
I haven't thought about that movie in years.
Well, I was gonna say, what is it called? Like the Saw films. The Saw films, especially like the first one, it has this filter that just kind of gleams through it the whole time. But then that, I guess, kind of makes it stick a little bit better in your memory when you're trying to think of like the aesthetic of like the film, you know?
Oddly enough, kind of. I think Saw is what set it up, maybe. I'm not sure. But I think in the second one, that's when he went up the ass with the contrast because
Yeah.
the first one was very subtle.
Because
It
it's
was very subtle.
contrasty and it's blue and I mean
It's green.
it's one of those.
It's all those weird colors.
It's one of those things that I think back in like 2007, it was like I think the first person who did it. I can't even like think about it, but it definitely sets like a tone and a mood and helps you remember the film for being in that like landscape more. But it's not like in modern films where you see them trying to like change it up throughout the film, because I mean there was like the family scene that I was surprised that it was like gloomy and dark and high contrasty, and it was like him like having dinner with his family, and I'm like, is somebody gonna get shot? Like what's gonna happen? Like especially seeing it for the first time, it was like, is it supposed to be tense? And then also maybe it goes with like the budget and all that. They were trying to do more tracking shots, but I guess they didn't want to put it on like a steady rig. It's like super shaky, you know. It's like shaky and it's like focusing on the kids, and you're like, something bad.
Well, that's one of my favorite scenes. What did you think of that scene when he's running towards the house once the cops outside and he finally gets there? That's a wonder, no? With him opening the door, trying to shut the windows down.
Yeah,
and,
that's also.
What's going on? What's going on?
There was a lot of wonders. With that one, I was wondering how much of the wife's like audio did they like add in later, just to kind of like emphasize that tension with her, because really she only came out I think twice in that one at the beginning and then one at the very end, like what's going on, but you hear her voice throughout it. And I think they were thinking like, no, we can't have her just pop in once and have the sun pop up once. We need to have her going and talking to him, and then Kevin Bacon's just like, no, I can't focus on that right now. All I need to focus on is like closing the windows and barring up everything and all that.
I mean, as an actor, I'm just thinking like, how he has to go around the camera to close the door.
Oh yeah.
It's just one of those things that like that's pretty cool the way they did it.
The wonders were impressive, like because I think they really knew that was going to add that extra layer of tension, and then just letting Kevin Bacon kind of go at it and say like, what do you think you can get out of this scene?
So
and that's something very special, because I do what you say. Like I do believe that James Wan just trusted Kevin Bacon. Like this is what I tell you to do. I know you're gonna do something good, so I'm just gonna let you do it.
So you're saying, Michael, that with this one, it got nominated or it won for stunts or prop?
No. I actually did pull it up. Give me a second.
Because I'm actually remembering they did use a lot of.
No, yeah, the stunts and like I said, that wonder scene in the parking garage. I mean, they had Kevin Bacon running around all over the place and like a whole gang after him, which they by cutting back and forth in camera was really impressive. It was nominated. Where did?
Yeah,
the Taurus Awards.
Is it the Taurus?
It's called the Taurus Awards, but it was nominated for Best Fight and Hardest Hit.
Hardest hit. Which one do you think that was hardest hit? The stairs?
Maybe the stairs one.
That was a big ass drop,
right?
Yeah,
it looked pretty.
It went from getting almost shot in the restroom, like those gunshots to the wall.
Oh yeah, that was a cool fight scene.
Yeah, I love it.
It was like, oh shit, like everything, like you gotta think everything in 1 second, like.
And I think that's when they shoot.
And it's kind of clumsy too.
Yeah,
I like how clumsy it is.
All right, and welcoming to the podcast is
the guy
Carlos
that hates this film,
M. Della Torre, joining us live from the Disney lot for his next film.
Yeah.
To the audience, this is the type of guy that hates this type of film because it's not 100 million and they're not using these actors that are 60 years old.
How am I coming across?
And it's now Martin Scorsese.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, we got to talk about the Scorsese reference now that he's here.
Oh my god, that was crazy.
No.
But
the first time I saw this, I haven't seen Taxi Driver yet until I recently watched it again, and I had already seen Taxi Driver.
Rip off.
And I caught it. I was like, whoa, that was cool. Like, all right.
Okay. The question that we were all answering a little earlier in the show, but we'll come back for you. Carlos, what was your first time watching this film?
This was my first time. The first and only screening, the first and only ever screening I will watch this film.
Really? Not even at a romantic dinner with me? No, nothing?
Oh no! Oh, maybe for you, Yoko, but that's about as far as I'll go, dog. Like just for you, but besides that, I can't put myself through that again. Anyways, I saw it with Della Gangster and with Austin, and we screened it virtually. And man, I
What?
20
Why?
minutes in,
Why?
I was.
You just give it to us straight,
Look,
man. Why?
let's just pause for a minute
There's one
real
thing
quick.
that you hated.
Oh wait,
Let's
okay.
pause real
Pause.
quick. So the reason I'm in this podcast, it was because of how much hate they were throwing at the movie, and they were telling me, because if I have seen it, I'm like, yeah. And what do you think? I mean, it's pretty cool.
too,
Like I like
yeah.
it, and I haven't seen it in a while. All right, like I haven't seen it in a good while. I've seen it like a few times in the past, but that was already a long time ago. And I remember every time I saw it, it was like that was fun. You know, that was like it was brutal. It was like gritty and blah blah blah. So of course I liked it. It's a revenge fucking movie.
Right.
And then these guys started telling me, because I told them, what did you guys think? Or like they tell me what they thought, and it basically just shat all over it. I was like,
No,
whoa. It couldn't have not
Carlos,
been that bad. Like, okay.
Carlos,
Yeah.
to like update you, I was telling him, I was like, if I had seen this film, like, you know, with my dad and family, and we're just there because I've seen like The Equalizer and I've seen like John. I'm like, we would have had fun. We're like, whoa, he just lost his fingers. That's crazy, right? You know, we would have.
Equalizer and John Wick are like fucking Citizen Kane to this movie, dude. Like I don't.
Oh my god.
Don't even know
Why?
Well, there's a huge difference. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, one was black and white.
I mean, come on, John Wick. Just because who cares about your fucking dog?
The best way I can put it, to be honest with you, like, okay, this is my first impression. I was, I kind of share that sentiment with Dalal. With the first 20 minutes, we were 20 minutes in, and it wasn't even a pacing thing on the film. It wasn't. It was just like, oh, fuck, is this what this is gonna be? The first act, we get halfway through, almost going into the second act, you get the guy killing the son's killer. And I thought, what the fuck is going on? We're 30 minutes in and the guy's dead. Where the fuck are they gonna take this? Right. So
what do you mean where are they gonna take this?
Wait, give me a second. So this is just my general impression. We'll talk about everything I think is wrong with this film, but my first general there's good moments and it's mostly in the camera work, but I'll get there.
See right there. That's where I want to talk to you. Okay, go.
My honesty, finishing the film and just sitting there, I thought this is exactly the type of film that would be one of two things. That would go straight to DVD and you'd buy it at Walmart in the $3 bin.
My God.
Come on.
But it's one of those. It would be one of those treasures that you'd find.
Yeah, the treasure.
It's the dad pick at Redbox.
What's wrong with that?
That's really good.
Yeah, you're telling me my dad movies are bad, like Predator, Rambo.
You kind of fit that bill now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the dad in the room, man.
What do you mean, like Die Hard?
Die Hard, a dad movie.
Die Hard is good. There's a difference, but
oh my god,
I don't know, man. Like it's you guys have seen those bad straight to DVD. Like anything Nicolas Cage was on.
They're not all
anything
bad.
Bruce Willis after.
Anything Bruce Willis or Nicolas Cage or Jean-Claude Van Damme was in, like in the fall of their career.
Yeah,
that's what this film felt like.
Nah, dude, it wasn't that bad, man. Like I was telling these guys.
I know most of you will you guys are saying this. Like, I know Gaston, Yoko, and Eric Sanchez even sometimes agrees on this. I really do pay attention to, like, especially when I'm Dalal, I don't know if you gave this impression earlier, but you said something that really struck out on me. After we finished the film, like the next day, you just like me, like everybody, like you said, you started researching, like, what do people find good in this? I'm trying to find something good in this. And you were reading reviews. You were like going through pages and blogs, and you like.
So was it the script that you didn't like, or the way it was shot?
He
Both.
Basically said everything was bad.
See, I feel like this is the problem with you and the Lao is that you guys.
The big thing was the script. The big thing was the story. The way these acts were structured, the intent. There was no intention other than I'm gonna turn this good suburban dad into a badass because he wants revenge but doesn't quite know how to go about it.
He's not a badass. He's still clumsy. He's still.
But they try to make him into a badass. They try to turn him into
Travis.
I will say.
See, we're oddly enough, I never saw it as turning him into a badass.
Me neither.
So why did he shave his head? So why did he go guns a blazing? Why did he go? I mean, come on.
You gotta have
he already
a clean
lost everything
cut.
in life.
Yeah, it's
At
for
that moment, he lost
aerodynamics.
everything.
And then it could have
gotta
been
make
a
him
tactical
faster
thing
with the
too. Like
punches.
they're gonna grab his hair or something.
Travis Bickle ripoff.
No,
Okay, Travis
No,
Bickle
dude,
that
it
is
was
my
not
problem
a
with
tac-
you,
Dude, I
Scorsese.
tried
Not-
very hard to see.
Not
a
everything's
Travis
Martin
Bickle-
Scorsese here.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I was trying
But when
so
it
hard to
tries
see
to be, that
Taxi
does a bad
Driver
job. It's
like
clear.
ripoffs. I was
the
trying to
same
see
thing
if it was
happened with
trying to be
Irishman.
Taxi Driver.
This
If
film,
anything, it was being Max Payne and Punisher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
This
go more
film-
for that type of thing. Yeah.
yeah. See, I
What?
feel like
No.
The
This film was-
only reference there was the end for me. That was Taxi Driver, and that was
Yeah,
when
no,
he
I
kills
know.
those
That's
guys.
that's obviously that, but that's what we're talking about. When he shaves from the moment he shaves his head on, it's trying to be Taxi Driver. Okay, from the moment he's trying to shave his head
I
on,
mean,
everything
but
before
nobody
you're
can
right.
shave his
There's
head.
a
The
lot
way-
of movies
nobody-
that happen like
The
that.
reason,
though,
the reason I debate
No.
that is mostly because the reason why he shaved his head is because they try to do that story plot of him looking exactly like the antagonist, which
Oh my
exactly
God.
is repeated right at the end where he's like,
Uh,
you know, we made you just like me, man.
yeah, like
which
But
I thought was
but
just
here's the
like
thing,
a
though.
line, but
Yeah.
Look-
And that's the only reason why he shaved his head, so they
No,
can make
but-
that comparison.
it's not just the
Blending.
shaving the head; it's the shootout scene at the end. It's the one guy going against
Which is-
30 guys,
which is
in
totally
one
badass.
building. In one building, that's Taxi Driver.
that's a lot of movies.
That's
some
Taxi
could
Driver.
complain
that's
it's also
Punisher,
Old
that's-
Boy.
he knows he has a
That's
death
Die
That's
Hard.
sentence.
also
That's-
Old Boy.
Once you
Yeah.
have that in your mind, when you have a death sentence,
I swear, I'm gonna Austin and I are gonna I'm gonna have Austin cut a side by side of the last scene in Taxi Driver and the last scene in this film, and I will bet money on this thing. Anyways, like let's get over that. The point is, to answer your question, Gaston, in my opinion, the structure of the story was just terrible. The structure of the script was it didn't know what it wanted to be. If it were just this simple, action revenge story, then I'd be fine with it. But it was trying to take itself way too seriously, and I didn't fuck with that.
Devil's advocate, would you say that by killing off the son's killer early in the film, it allowed for the subversion of audience expectation? So every other scene had tension because we didn't know where it was going to go next.
Look, let me put it to you this way:
pretty
giving me the kid's brother. Everybody gets pissed off, especially Sanchez, especially you, fucker. I'm talking to you. Everybody gets pissed off at Fast and the Furious bringing in, Jason Statham is now his brother, and he's getting his revenge on his brother. But when you see it in this shit, you think it's good. Tell me the logic in that.
Well,
Yoko.
because Fast and the Furious is just a terrible franchise, and they're just
Exactly.
pulling shit out of their ass. This
Yeah,
one
but-
is just one movie, and they could just
Yeah,
do
that's-
whatever the hell they want with just 17. How was the budget? Under 20 million?
20 million.
Or 20
20
million
million.
exactly? I mean, they just did that, and like it's not Jason Statham and brotherly love, and we're all family,
By the
like
way-
oh god, come on.
yeah, I'm with you.
It got
Familia.
old.
We
Like,
did.
I don't know, man.
I was gonna say that we did comment on the fact that this film was heavy on the practical effects and used them well. Like for example,
Yeah.
with 20
Absolutely.
million, they sawed a van in half. I
Right.
perfectly in half. We all saw that. Just Kevin
no.
Bacon plowing through a van. I don't know. That's pretty
With
impressive.
the death-proof car or whatever. I have nothing
Yes.
bad to say. I have nothing bad to say about the stunt work, about the practical effects, about some of the action sequences. The acting was terrible, guys.
From who?
From Kevin Bacon, from the young son.
Dude, Kevin Bacon had to over exaggerate just to carry the film. What are you talking about?
He was good
Over-
at this.
I thought he was good too. Like
good.
Like,
Over exaggerate.
He knows exactly what movie he was doing.
When you've seen Kevin Bacon play a badass firefighter that isn't unapologetically badass, and you see him in this, no, he's not good in this.
Because you're seeing
But that's not the
Kevin
movie that he
Bacon,
was
you're getting-
making,
not
though.
getting lost in the character. Stop seeing Kevin Bacon, just the character.
Yeah, he wasn't making that movie. He was making just a suburban dad
Exactly. That's what you guys don't
who
understand.
just got into things way over his head.
It was-
Fine. If it was trying to accomplish that, tonally, it wasn't doing that. Tonally, it wasn't going after that. And if it was doing a very bad job of it, in my opinion.
Okay, one thing I will say, the dialogue on this is not good. Definitely. I'll
To
admit
say
it,
the
especially the first 15 minutes of it. Like, yeah, it is very melodramatic. It is a bargain bin movie in that case. I will say
Yeah.
that. But the thing is, mostly on the plot, how the plot is structured, and the way they James Wan's directs that part of the sequences. That's
Yeah.
what elevates this movie so much. That's what actually makes it different than just a normal bargain bin movie.
Okay.
Get aside the dialogue, because he starts getting better at it with The Conjuring, to tell you the truth, until The Conjuring.
Okay.
Because even the first Saw movie, yeah, it's not that good at that, but the plots has good plot structure.
Yeah.
And that's where I will give you that yeah, dialogue is terrible.
Look, I think maybe Castro. I mean, obviously, your perspective is going to be significantly better than mine on the acting, because you clearly knew that Kevin Bacon as an actor was trying to over exaggerate on purpose. And if you knew that, I applaud you, because I thought he was just doing a bad job. Honestly, I thought he was just going over the top. And again, I've said this before on this podcast. It may not be his fault. It may be James Wan telling him to do that. So you can't completely blame the actor. You can more than blame the actor, blame the director.
So what do you feel from Kevin Bacon? Like he didn't believe that he wasn't out for revenge, but he was trying to keep it together. What would you?
I blame it more on the story than I do on the acting, but the acting contributed to. You guys know this. If it's a bad script, the acting's only going to make it worse. No matter how good the actor is to a certain degree. Toxic Avenger. But look, I guess my mentality is, I've seen so many revenge stories and so many good actors in revenge stories.
Yeah.
To name a few off the top of my head, like The Revenant and Kill Bill. And I mean,
dude, I'm going to say what, Yoko. I think they kind of tried to do the same thing. The one with Gerald Butler.
Law-abiding citizen?
Yeah, dude. That one was way better at trying to do this. I'll give you that.
Okay, so just story-wise, there's been revenge films that know how to take... Look, let me put it to you this way, just as an example from a point that Delao brought up earlier. You see The Revenant, and you see Hugh Glass, and you see the man that murdered his kid, played amazingly, brilliantly by Tom Hardy, right? That was not a slow burn of a film as much as it was the perfect pacing to finally kill the fucker in the end. And
which one are you talking about?
The Revenant.
Come on, bro.
It's a huge
difference. What? It's a revenge story.
It's a huge
the guy killed his son.
Though.
No. But look, it's a revenge story.
Yeah. Like
revenge story. Guy killed his son. He's going after the guy that killed his son and betrayed him, right? And it's beautiful. It's perfect. I'm not just talking. Sure. I'm talking about the story. I'm not talking about how it's shot. It's just punto de aparte. But it's beautiful story structure and pacing. This one, by the time they killed the killer, the son's killer, I thought, are they going to take this political, like, oh, this is what happens when you join a gang, kid, or are they going to take this, like, why? What was the purpose of killing him and having the brother be the bigger antagonist, and then having John Goodman be the bigger antagonist that doesn't?
He was never the bigger antagonist.
He was just a side character, yeah.
No,
yeah.
But he like the way that the film wanted to portray him is that he was the father to the head of the gang, and like it was kind of like looking at that like dichotomy or something like that. Like I think in a weird way they almost wanted it to be that John Goodman was what Kevin Bacon was going to become. Like where he says, "I don't care if you're going after my son, but."
But they portrayed John Goodman like the puppet master to a certain point, and that's what I mean.
Because
they portrayed him like
I don't know what movie you guys watching.
No. Let me explain why. Let me explain why.
I only saw him as he just happens to be this dude, like.
No, but they also said that he was the dad because he's like, you're going after my son.
And
like
I guess that's in a sense that's just the movie making a connection.
It's just a coincidence.
The coincidence. And it's the connect.
That's it.
That's too
they link in a way because like
why didn't
your
they
boy
just
killed my son, I killed your son, and like it's just an irony in a way.
But I felt like
look, let me just say this: that scene I actually really enjoyed when John Goodman talked to him like, "Oh, look, man, I'm a dad, but don't tell me you're going after my kid. If you are, you aren't. I'm just going to turn the other way or whatever." That was a fine scene. Like I accepted that. Like, okay, I accept that character trait. That's fun to play with. Okay. And then when he turns around in the garage scene at the end where he gets killed, and he says, "Oh, I had that fucker. I had to sniff that fucker away just to make him think that I was against you," or whatever the fuck he was trying to do, was making him look like the top dog, like he had the control, like Kevin Bacon was playing into his hand. That's why I'm saying they made him look almost like the puppet master.
No,
Okay. So
I totally read something different.
in the sake of moderating, modification, Yoko, what are you seeing when it came to like John Goodman's character? Because I think we all kind of had that similar idea of like, we didn't know where he was exactly going to go, but they wanted to make him a stronger part of the plot. Did you just see him as like the guy who sells guns and that's kind of it? Because if he was, it was confusing when at the beginning you thought that John Goodman was going to play a bigger part, especially being like, this is all the money you bring me. Like I could kill you right now and all that kind of stuff. And then later on you find out that that's his son. It's in this weird kind of middle ground of, you didn't know if he was supposed to play a larger role or if he was just supposed to be the gun supplier guy. Like, where did you see him when you watched the film?
I think like the way the movie came out, I would say that that original character, I believe, was actually just going to be the arms dealer. But the fact that they got John Goodman to it, they expanded it a bit more. They added a bit more scenes to it. They're like, okay, we're going to have 2 days
because
with him.
It would have been too one-off just by having him like there that one time. Yeah, and that's what I said I felt.
And it's exactly what it feels. And now they do add the thing that, oh, okay, these are my kids. But it's not exactly how it plays out that, oh, he's supposed to be this bigger character, because at the end of, especially his last interaction with this kid is mostly what a father, like he even says the fact that you think, like, I know it seems like I don't give a shit about you guys, but I do. And so like, I'm not going to exactly tell you where you are to kill you, but at least I'm going to tell you that he's going to come looking for you.
I think it did, John,
just that.
I think it did play a small part, like more than just that, when John Goodman like brought up the fact that he had already killed his other son, like something like that, where he did bring up to like Kevin Bacon saying like, "Are you the one that took like got rid of like my other son?" Because that was the brother of the main guy that like later on we find out he was the one who died in the car at the parking garage.
Okay.
Like that part, I remember when you see it does add that extra tension. Like, oh shoot, is John Goodman just gonna shoot him right there, right now? Because like the air's open for like, oh, you killed my son. But then John Goodman takes it and he's like, I don't care if you're gonna go after the other one. Just know that I'm not gonna give you any hints.
Okay, so here's one of the things that now I'm kind of piecing some things together. You guys watched the theatrical version, right? Correct?
Yeah,
the thing is that right now I'm remembering in the unrated version there is this conversation of John Goodman with the gang. Like right outside they go to the funeral, well, to the place where they want to cremate the dead brother,
right?
And like right outside that scene, John Goodman comes up to them and actually talks about them so I hear that you guys are creating a gang war or something like that. And I'm just gonna let you guys know what you guys are doing is also affecting me. Just stop this. Stop this right now. I don't care about what the hell you guys doing.
Yeah, we didn't see that.
And then the gang, well, the main guy says, you know what? They're gonna cremate. They're gonna cremate Bobby. I think I don't remember his name. It just seems like that, Bobby for me. But they're gonna cremate him. And he just says, "Oh, so I guess he's the lucky one there."
Well, like that would have been that. I could see how that would help it, because then it goes back to because then it goes back to that central theme of like revenge isn't the answer, which it seemed like every time that something would happen to the gang leader would always be like, "No, we got to go and we got to kill this guy's family now. It's not just the guy anymore." And then the guy, every time he does something, it's like tension's always building because each one's trying to get back at each other, which the Kevin Bacon wasn't trying to get back. He just kind of coincidentally killed some guy. So,
and maybe that scene is what extra.
No.
Like killing him had consequences.
No, but I don't think he intended it when the car No, but he didn't intend when the car fell off because
Of
that
course,
scene.
revenge always has consequences.
Yeah,
No,
but in this case, it didn't. He won.
What do you mean it did? He pissed off like a big gang, and
Oh,
so
he
they
lost
came
his
after
wife.
his
Oh,
family.
sorry,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, he lost
He
the
lost
wife
his-
and the kid, right? So I
Yeah,
guess.
see, that's
his
but
family. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just felt like I don't know. Like as far as the directing goes, I just feel like I bumped up. Like I think we've talked about James Wan before this film, like on the podcast, right? And I was like, man, James Wan is on my top 10 directors to watch in the next 10 years. I think he's going to become something big. I think he's going to do something really good. You know, and I know a lot of people didn't like Aquaman. I personally did. I thought Aquaman was pretty great. And some of the stuff he's doing, some of the studio pictures he's doing, I thought, man, okay, he's transitioning out of kind of the horror scene and he's doing more mainstream stuff, but that's only to get him the work he really wants to do. I know that's the director's pattern he's taking. And I think he was on my list to watch as a director, man. And then after watching this, I'm like, this couldn't have possibly been James Wan.
No, but this
Why?
is
dropped
But
3
this
years.
feels like James
after,
Wan.
It's 3 years after the Saw movie, you know, which was
Exactly.
3 years after
Still
Saw.
taking baby
anything-
steps, you know.
If anything,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
even
this is
his
consider
audition
it
tape
almost
2
a
Furious
spin-off
7.
to Saw. Like it's in the same
Spin-off?
universe.
because
No,
It has the
Really?
same
What is it,
sense of
thriller?
what
like
we were talking
violence.
about was also if you look at like that kind of the color styling that they kind of put this filter on, and it's like very similar to like the 2007's action kind of feel where
Yeah.
they put this like color palette, and it does one of two things. One, it helps to kind of amplify, I guess, the tension that they're going for in the film and that grittiness.
For
And then
sure.
also when you're remembering the film, you're seeing that kind of color palette and it makes it feel more unique. And they did that like in
Right.
Saw, where the whole film is just in that single kind of colored filter over the whole movie, and it does something.
Right.
It does something as far as like the way you remember it and that grittiness and that high contrast, which I think people have kind of like played with a little bit more in modern films, but was big back then because of the kind of newness and punchiness it had.
Yeah, because like they saw like a very gritty film, and they thought, you know what, that's the key to like making dark films, I guess, or
Yeah.
something. But
was lightning
yeah,
in the
like
bottle.
I don't know, man. Like I really liked Death Sentence. I didn't see much wrong with it. Everything that you guys are telling me, it's kind of crazy because I think this is the first time we actually debate like stupidly hard over a movie, whether it's shit or it's good.
Look, that may be the
it's
opening
decent.
point. That may be the opening point, right? Like I'm sorry I missed the opening remarks, but that may be the point, right? Like you shouldn't be deep diving into a picture like this because it's not meant to be deep diving.
that's what
yeah,
I was saying.
And
Exactly.
especially on a movie called Death Sentence.
Exactly.
The entire
That's
catalog
that's
of
my
all
point,
fucking
like,
movies.
you guys-
It's
I-
funny.
I made this
It's so
comment
funny.
to Castro. I made this comment to Sanchez, and Sanchez, you'll be able to shed some light on this. I made this comment to Sanchez. Sanchez, if you guys know, like he's talked to us about some of the films he's seen and he likes, and these B and C kind of series of horror, slasher, thriller,
Ooh.
or dark, you know. So he likes those types of movies, right? So I think I said something along the lines to Sanchez of like, explain to me how this film wasn't. How a film like this, if it's something you shouldn't be taking seriously as an audience, why does it take itself seriously as a film? Why is it trying to take itself seriously as a film if it's not meant to do that for the audience?
I don't.
And you were like, well, there's films like that in those genres that do take themselves too seriously, and they still belong in those genres. And I don't get the difference. You know, I don't get if you belong in the genre where you're just it's one of those B films
It's
that
not
you go
always
watch.
like that.
There's a
the
sense of
audience.
earnesty.
Yeah, it's the audience opinion. Like it's different opinions if you
It's
take it
kind of
like
like
that.
because like everyone thinks a B horror film.
Exactly.
Oh, they're just comedies and they're just silly and they're like just
For them.
stupidly over the grotesque, gory, gratuitous.
And I respect
violence.
that genre. By the way, I respect
But-
that. Like
But there is
I
a lot of
respect
B
those
movies
films.
that take themselves serious.
Yeah.
like
for
if
example,
James
Terminator
Gunn, like if James
is
Gunn
a
is
B
turning around
movie.
and doing like Super, or he's doing like like a James Gunn B horror film, then I respect that and I enjoy him and I applaud it because.
But that's
you're
the
in that
difference.
genre.
He's actually going for that style. You know what I mean?
right.
But it really just depends on what movie is and what they're trying to do. Sometimes they succeed and some just don't. They just.
So do you think they succeeded
think
in this film?
slightly? Yeah. I mean, in an honest opinion, yeah, I think they slightly succeeded in the
Okay.
serious note because like when they killed his son. And I remember the first reaction I had when I was younger, when I saw this film, I was pissed. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, kill that fucker. You know, when he says, no, like, oh, it's not him. It was dark. don't convict him, because I knew he wanted to kill him. He already kind of like made up his mind he's gonna go after him to see if he could go through with it, and he does. So I was like, yes. But then the whole movie spins out because of, consequences. You pissed off, his brother, his gangs, his bros, or whatever.
I think he's scared shitless
because he did one mistake. He said he shouldn't have gone. He should have just put him in jail and amarrarse los huevos and accept.
But he was
that
never
his son
scared
died.
shitless. He was never scared shitless.
He was freaked out when he killed the son. Yeah, he was. Yes, he was.
What are you talking about?
He started freaking the fuck out when he figured out that he was being chased. Yeah, he was being followed, and then the cop came to his office and told him,
he was rattled at best when he killed the kid. When he killed the killer.
But even then, of course he was rattled because he's never killed anyone. And I don't know what you expect.
When he gets the package.
Screaming and tearing his shirt off. Everyone, it's a movie. I don't know what more did you want from that reaction?
Exactly. That's the thing.
What about Joker? Joker killed those guys and he was just like, he started dancing. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay.
I think at the end of it, that's the answer. The answer is, what pisses me off about this film is I don't know where to place it. Usually you know where to place a film. I'm not going to take this too seriously because it's this type of film, or I'm going to take this seriously because it deserves being taken seriously, or
I guess but even then, I guess that's a different mentality because I don't know. I think that just comes to everyone individually, because with you in that case, you either take a movie serious or you don't. Me, I'm all over the place.
I see it for what it's worth. Yeah.
I see what it is most of the time.
Yeah. I do believe here the biggest.
It's hard to put here. Because when I saw Death Sentence, I saw it as it's a revenge film. It feels like Max Payne, and it has that cool aesthetic in the background. So because it looks like a crack house, and it looks like people take shits there. They take heroin.
Great wonder.
It's awesome. And I love the violence in it.
But it didn't copy Taxi Driver with the crack house.
Come on. That's not a film fight off of those, dude.
But it didn't. Just
because a lot of movies take
Taxi Driver's not the only one that has the crack house thing.
Exactly.
The only difference is the only difference is Harvey Keitel wasn't sitting out front as a pimp. That's the only difference in this set.
I swear to God,
I guess your problem is that you want to relate this to Taxi Driver so much.
Why is it this? It's Taxi Driver. Taxi Driver has nothing to do with this movie. Taxi Driver is about self-individualism and about being lost and lonely. And at the end, it goes out on a whole shootout at a crack house or a pimp house or whatever. This movie is a revenge story, and at the end, with every video game that was coming out at the time,
it
had the exact same.
That's pretty good
set. And then movies in the early 70s had similar sets as well.
Yeah,
Abandoned houses, those silly things. Dirty Harry has it, and it's older than Taxi Driver.
Ooh. Yeah, absolutely.
Carlos, it can't be just Taxi Driver. The last scene, the last part of the movie is all Taxi Driver. Impossible. I never saw it. I never thought of Taxi Driver. The closest
it's been confirmed, Derek. That's the difference, though. It's been confirmed. I sent you guys.
But even if they confirm it online, everyone's good because everyone's seen Taxi Driver.
That was Juan confirming. Not anybody else.
Just paying the homage to them, dude. It's just a homage.
That's what it takes for what it is. A homage or not homage. Homage. My bad.
That's either one.
Yeah.
Either homage or whatever. So homage. What? He was paying tribute to his favorite film or whatever. Big deal.
Carlos, I feel like, and I was saying this at the beginning of the podcast, I think we're just assholes. We
absolutely.
Sure. I'm not trying to be
you say I'm the asshole.
No, because I feel
I don't care, man. Look,
we would have enjoyed this film so much better if we were in a different framework, because I think we were looking at it at least I was saying with the guys, what did they do to kind of innovate the genre? What did they do to kind of push the medium forward? And we're looking at it from that kind of critical analysis where we were definitely nitpicking things that everybody's saying never was nitpicked before by anybody else. And it's because we're not taking it for what it did do, which
it was fun to have fun with it. I think this, you can vouch for me, at least at this point. once you started having fun with the film on like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Why, like the garage scene, right? Like the garage scene. Oh, that's interesting just to play with camera and to have fun with it. That's what I'm saying. It has good moments. And when you start having fun with it, you start having fun with it. But I guess when I sat down, especially it's because I'm very peculiar. Like when it comes to drama, I guess I'm very overprotective about drama. And when you start, yeah. So I'm very overprotective when it comes to drama. And when it starts doing this thing with drama where like the dialogue, number one, like you said, Yoko, when the dialogue starts being dialogue in a drama, and it could easily become a lifetime movie, a movie of the week or whatever, or it could be a good drama dialogue.
On the
side,
yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when it starts doing that, I start thinking, well, why is it doing that? And I start paying attention to the drama structure. But I didn't see those are the lenses I'm looking at through it, especially in the first act, because that's how it set it up for me, right?
Yeah.
Especially opening up with the home video of the family and it trying to set up this thing, right? So, but you guys are saying, no, you're supposed to look at it and take it for what it is, have fun with it, and enjoy the over exaggerated shootouts and the over exaggerated moments. And I get that, you guys are confirming for me that you're not supposed to take it as seriously as tearing it apart. But
here, the thing is that this is probably the most fun I've had in a podcast defending a movie that I had somewhat like in the back of the mind. Like I don't really think about it, but if it's on like cable, I'm like, yeah, I watch it. I'll watch the rest.
It's on FX sometimes. FX, dude.
But
the reason why
it's like it was so insane. I was shook. You guys I thought you were saying like it was all right, like at least.
I
he started tearing the hell out of it. I'm like,
okay,
oh boy,
Yoko, I really want to get, because I've seen that you're trying to like bring in some points to it. So because I mean, at the end of this, I will say genuinely, I think I watched it wrong more than anything else, because I mean, there's plenty of people I can show this to, and they would have had a super fun time with it. And looking at all the reviews that are coming out recently on the film, they're saying that, yeah, this was a sleeper, we didn't see it in theaters, or like you said, it went straight to DVD in Mexico and all that. But watching it now, it's a really fun and good like revenge story. It's got really good action sequences. It's got a really interesting plot line if you think about all the little twists and turns. Like I even said it earlier, the way it kind of like it did kill off like the person who killed the son at the beginning, but that's just to kind of lead you into like, well, now I don't know what's going to happen next. Like you almost thought that was going to be the end of the film, and now you have to kind of puzzle together what the next ending going to be. So I think
it keeps you on the line. It keeps you on the, okay, what are you going to do next? Then if you did that, what are you going to do next? Not even for filmmakers, like film lovers, right? Like, okay, if you did that early on, then what's next? There's still 60 minutes left in the picture. What are you going to do? It does keep you on the line. It's not like, all right, I'm turning this shit off, like end of the movie. It's like, oh, what's he going to do next if that just happened? So it does keep you on the line. It does keep you like, it does pull you in that way.
Also, another thing, we talked to like Brett Radner a while back, and I remember one of the things he says that
shout out Brett, how you doing?
I know, shout out to Brett Radner.
I just talked to him again recently, man. So he's
just ask him what he thinks of.
No, because you know what he said? He said that when he was in film school, there was these guys that shot like a stoner comedy on, I think it was like 8mm. And basically what they did is that you only had one 10-minute roll of 8mm to shoot your film, and that's it. So you had to kind of like very minimal takes, rehearse the hell out of it, like really plan out all your shots and everything. And, everybody was struggling with it, thinking like, well, how am I going to do with only one roll? And then if you mess up, that's like minutes gone off your film. And he said that there was this one crew that they did a oneer that basically was a whole film. Yeah. And it even had like these practical effects built into it, but it was a oneer, and it was a stoner comedy. So not everybody like laughed at the jokes that were built into it, but it was really impressive on how they made the film. And the professor wanted to fail the students who made that film, on the basis, like basically he wanted to fail the film, and the whole class got mad and said, how could you fail that? That was super impressive. How could they have done it in a oneer? It was like really awesome. And he says, here's why I failed it. How many of you laughed at the jokes during the film other than the ones who made the film? And the idea behind it was that if everybody in the theater laughed at it, then that was a successful movie because that's who you're trying to show it to. If it's only like your friends are laughing or people who made it like get the jokes, then it's unsuccessful. And I think sometimes when we look at films, we're in that niche market of like trying to see something that maybe it's not pleasant to the standard viewer. Like I know with my film, what is it? At Eternity's Gate, I know I showed it to my family and they're like, this is weird and I don't get it and I don't like it. And I liked it because it was weird and it wasn't trying to be something conventional, but it was trying to push a medium and all that. With this film, I think it's something that much more people get, much more people enjoy. Seeing the current reviews now, much more people are starting to like have fun with it.
It clearly accomplished its goal. Let me just say that right off the bat. James Wan accomplished pleasing the two types of audience he wanted to please. The general action-loving, general action-loving audience, and two, the B, C, film lovers like you guys. That's why you guys are watching it and you're saying, no, it was fun. That's exactly what it was trying to be. And it clearly accomplished pleasing those audiences. I just remember having the thought, like, if this was what James Wan wanted to be, this was the type of storyteller he wanted to be. I just remember having this thought, like, after watching this film, how could they give him money to make the next film? But the answer is the answer is it broke even. It made its money back. It made its money back, number one. So that's obviously
it's changed.
Yeah, it made its money back, right? So that's one. But the critics tore this shit apart. The critics really did tear this movie apart. So that's why I wondered, like, why did they, was it easy for James Wan to get another job? And the truth is there's a market for these types of films. And you could probably be more successful in making 10 of these pictures every 2 years than to make a James Wan picture once every 4 years. You know what I mean? So he would have won either way. He would have been James Wan, the B and C filmmaker, or he would have won by getting more studio work and like becoming more successful in the mainstream. So he would have won either way. And I respect that. I respect that James Wan was unapologetically making the movie he wanted to make. And you have to respect that as a filmmaker, as a storyteller. You have to respect that. So
now, Yoko, please. I'm sorry. I wanted to get your take on it. Like from this film, you chose it. You enjoy it very much. What do you think it is about this film that really put it at like a good regard for you that definitely we didn't see? But I mean, I feel like more fault on us.
Okay. Well, before I actually go into that question. I just want to add a little thing to the last thing that you said, about the people kind of like, because you have mentioned it earlier as well, and when we talked about it in the chat, where people are kind of revisiting this movie now and just like the couple of years before this, and they're kind of like saying, "Hey, this is a good movie" and stuff like that, rediscovering it.
Yeah,
and then with this talk that we've been having about target audiences. This is exactly what it is, because the people who are going back to revisit this movie are people who have seen Furious 7, who have seen Aquaman, and so they're going to some of the. I think mostly because of these movies, they're going to watch Death Sentence because it is that action movie where you kind of see where he came from. And why, and his shot, his placement, the way he energizes, the way he makes the cars roar with the introduction of the villains. Because for me, like when I watch the movie, like it's like the whole movie is the mono, then the cars come in and it just becomes stereo. And so the way the language that he puts these cars, like you see that where he is now. You see that, he is that blockbuster guy because he did all these things, and that's why he hits that market.
His sensibilities are definitely there, and you can see that in, the way that tension's kind of built into the film. I mean, with the home video thing, I think we've seen it enough now where we can almost feel like it's starting to become in that cliche realm because you can tell something's going to happen. But I mean, for using it in the film, it really did build up the tension that later on when he's with his son and his son's talking about the next chapter of his life, and it's starting to build up into this direction where you can see he's a good kid with a good future. And then the gang scene happens and you see that he's been killed off senselessly for no reason. you can feel that like weight with Kevin Bacon. And I mean, the music,
That
the
was
film, everything that was there, it builds up that tension where, yeah, I mean, really, he successfully did that. You know, he was successfully able to like build.
That was my justification of like why he kept getting more work, more James Wan type of work, because I'm not as big a fan as you, Yoko, obviously, of his. In a good way. I mean, like, I haven't seen enough of his work because, you know, I'm not really deep into the genre of horror. So I'm not as big a fan yet, but it did set up the type of storyteller he was going to become, for sure. Like, it did set up like, oh, this was early James Wan, and you can tell it was early James Wan because of some of the storytelling techniques he made as a director. So I can respect that. Like I said, I can respect that. I can respect like the journey. I can respect the journey of what he was and what he is now, and how you started seeing little moments of like, oh, this cut is a James Wan cut. This, you know, swish pan is a James Wan swish pan. So you did start to see his trademarks a little bit.
I think also you saw potential in like
now.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
And the thing is that to answer the question that you were making, Nelo, is that you kind of actually touched upon it right at the end, Carlos. The thing is that the way I see James Wan is that for me, James Wan is a lot like my Robert Rodriguez. He's the guy who has these big ideas and knew how to do it in these small budgets.
Yeah.
Which is why he's been working with the Blumhouse in a really cool way.
Right.
And then suddenly he has like this big success now, 20 years later, that we can see it. And for me, like, I grew up with him.
He gained the freedom to do that. Instead of making $20 million pictures, he's making 90 million. But the $90 million picture should have been a $200 million picture. But he's doing it within the $90 million budget. So yeah.
I mean, he's kind of like the definition right now when it comes to like talking about like horror films and how much success those kind of films can have with like really minimal budgets. I mean, you think of like the budgets that he's done for like Saw and all that, close bordering like student film project budgets, but then he's making something that has that kind of like cult status now, that now like, you know, there's Spiral that came out years later, but it holds that same kind of like heart with people that they want to go back
and
because
by the
of
way,
what he made.
I'm glad that you made that parallel, Yoko. That's a really good parallel, like to know that he's your Robert Rodriguez, because as you guys know, I love Robert Rodriguez. But in all fairness, I'm gonna point out the shit he makes. Like, I'd point out the shittiness of Once Upon a Time in Mexico the same way I'd point out the shittiness that you know what I mean? I'm not defending Rodriguez either. Like, they do have their issues, which is why I think they have their niche in their genres. They're successful in their genres, right? And with their audience. So they have those things, but Rodriguez and Wan, number one, they're relatively young as far as filmmakers go. So they still got a way ahead of them. And they only been in the industry for 25 odd years, you know, both of them. They both came around at the same time. James Wan a little later. So as indie brats, I mean, come on, man. How are you not going to respect these guys as indie brats, as indie filmmakers? Of course, you have to. You have to, especially knowing James Wan's success story with Saw and then how he made this picture secondary to Saw. I can see the progression. Okay, that's
and then
fair.
Also in that same year, he made this one and Death Silence, which Death Silence, it's like,
it's not good.
Yeah, but but I mean, he made those films in the same year. Death Silence basically superseded the budget. It was the same $20 million budget. I think it grossed like 22 million back, which probably now, if you think about it, like the two James Wan films probably like evened out to like go back to that 40 million even. But like, two films being released in the same year with your name on it. And I mean, knowing that you have that kind of flexibility, that you can do a good action film that people can come and watch and have a lot of fun with, or doing a good horror film that's going to bring audience members to the theater.
And here's the thing. Here's kind of my final thought on like these general impressions about the film. Everybody who's listening on the podcast, and you guys as the panelists, and I love that we talk about these things on the podcast, and we're so versatile with our answers, because that's the point. Cinema's always been subjective, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not happy that I'm the pretentious asshole when it comes to cinema, but I'm also not apologetic because that's who I am. That's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I love, right? So
that's the only way we want it.
So I just want to point this out. I react to films like these, not just this film, but this film particularly because this is the most recent one I saw. I react to films like these the same way Eric will react to my suggestions. Eric Sanchez, by the way. Eric Sanchez will react to my La La Lands. You know what I mean? He's not pointing out like, oh, it's a shitty film. It's this. It's why did they have to go and do that? Or why did they have to be cute? That's what I'm like ughing about. Does that make sense? I'm not ughing, like, I'm not diminishing the effort. I'm diminishing why are they doing this that way? And they could have done this, but you know what I mean? So there's a difference. There's just a difference. So I just want to point out the fact that I think that the storytelling, I'll just say this right off the bat. If The Room has merit, The Room being the worst film of all time, according to most, because he went out and made a film on his own and it's still showing in theaters in LA today. You know what I mean? Saying like, if that has merit, why shouldn't something like Death Sentence have merit? Every filmmaker has merit. Like, if you're going out there to make a film, you're going to war, and filmmakers alike respect that. We respect that. You're making a film, right? It's hard to make a film. So I respect that, man. Like, I respect the effort. I respect what he was trying to do. I'll even respect and throw you guys a bone. I'll respect his attempted homage to Taxi Driver.
Homage.
Oh my God.
Amish. Oh, we're gonna stay with Amish. Okay.
Now we're going with homage now.
I respect the effort, but because I don't watch these films at the accelerated amount that you three, Eric, Yoko, and Sanchez, you guys watch these films a lot, dude. Like these are your jam. These are definitely your jam. So your palate is more developed than mine, and maybe I'll even throw you into the conversation, Bilal. Like your palates are more developed than ours in this genre, in this type of film. So you guys know what to look out for. We may not, you know. So I just want to point that out. I think the effort is admirable, but my palate is not developed in this area of cinema as much as you guys are. So,
and with that
I
note,
bow down to you guys on that.
With that note, Yoko, you have every right to shave your head and come at us with every gun you can find from John Goodman and murder us in a crack house. You know, you have every right to.
So
because we killed your son.
I got 50,000 worth of killing to do.
Definitely.
So is it everybody's favorite segment, Tower Crown, Yoko's picks of the week?
Ooh. Is it about that time?
It is about that time, Yoko.
Reel it in, Yoko.
Oh my God. Oh, well.
What's in store for this week?
Well, welcome to the Tower Crown, people. After the feisty debate that we already had, let's go into a little bit more generalized debate. Well, I'm already done with the energy with you guys today. So, as you might have guessed, we're doing revenge thrillers. So, I put up a poll on Facebook so you guys can let me know which was your favorite revenge movie. Now, in that poll, I included movies like
Number 1,
The Brave One, Jodie Foster.
Ooh, she's still hot.
I like Jodie
The
Foster.
Punisher, the 2004 version.
Dude,
What
I
movie
love
was
that one,
Jodie?
dude.
What movie was Jodie Foster in again? What started her career again?
Get out of
The
here,
Brave
Taxi
One?
Driver guy.
No one's saying Taxi Driver is bad. That's my favorite Scorsese film. You're just salty. The debate an homage to Taxi Driver. Okay, enough.
Okay,
Third
so
one.
next one was I Saw the Devil, the Korean representation on this one,
Korean picture.
and Kill Bill.
Come on.
We all know.
Kill Bill was
So,
my favorite
y'all
Tarantino film
voted?
for a long time. Anyway.
Dude, The Punisher is the best one on top 4.
It was as well for me. So y'all voted, and the movies that came out as your favorites were Kill Bill and I Saw
Nice.
the Devil.
Not The Punisher?
Yeah, I was
it was a
expecting
close
The
one.
Punisher
It was a
too.
close one.
Thomas
But,
Jane was so good on it. Dang it.
Yeah, as you can see, I Saw the
Nice.
Devil and
Stand by
Kill
the-
Bill.
Look at you coming to show and tell, Yoko.
Look at
Hey
this
man,
guy.
you've been bringing it. You
fun
missed
fact.
the.
Fun fact: Kill Bill is one of the one of what I include as in my history the smartest $100 purchase I ever did was Kill Bill, Sin City, the Rock album, the soundtrack for The Punisher, and
I really like
Worms
that.
3D for the PlayStation 2.
Okay.
Smartest
Okay.
$100 that formed me.
Okay.
Justifiable. My Kill Bill copies, dude, are. I wish I could show them to you guys. I don't have them with me, obviously, in the other side of the country. But I have the Kill Bill volumes 1 and 2 on Steelbook, and the fucking Steelbooks are so awesome, dude. I love those Steelbooks.
I think I've seen them. Yeah.
So we
Oh,
got Kill Bill for Sanchez and probably Carlos to help him out, and Yoko's gonna take I Saw the Devil.
I Saw the Devil.
All right.
I'm going to be your humble modulator for the evening.
And I'm just
Castro,
gonna
where you leaning, dog? Where you leaning?
You better be leaning towards Yoko, Castro.
I was leaning towards the Punisher, but
You're
I mean,
leaning
Kill
towards
Bill's-
Yoko, Castro.
I never
This
seen
is
that.
the third time that it's happened when I'm on the podcast where like Eric he doesn't have a pick like in the last two options.
Damn it, my bad.
The
Eric,
last one
my
was
bad.
Halloween. He was like, well, what about Michael Myers? Nah, we're like between
That's
Freddy
true.
and
I'm still
I haven't
flabbergasted.
seen the. To be fair, I haven't seen the Punisher, the film, in so long that Johnny Berthal is now my image of the Punisher. Like
Oh, Thomas Jane is still the guy, man.
Yeah,
for me,
in
it's still
your
Thomas
head-
Jane.
Thomas
in your head,
Jane.
that's still the guy.
Dude. It's
And
kind
that
of like
short
with
film
this
that he
one.
made. was
That's
also
how
pretty
long
cool.
That's how long it's been since I've seen the film. So now Johnny Berthal is just in my head.
mine's Warzone. I'm sorry.
Warzone?
You know,
The one that
I
no
was
one
kinda-
talks
I was-
about.
It's pretty good, but I wish they would have
Warzone.
kept Thomas Jane, but they switched characters on that one or actors.
Actors.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. So who's kicking this off?
Okay, well, I'm moderating, so the question to kind of kick off the conversation is let's start off. Why is yours a more compelling revenge story?
Oh, right off the bat.
All right.
Who's the first one?
Who do you want?
I want you, Yoko, because
I'll be
I
your
don't
court,
think a lot of
man.
us have seen this film, but
Okay.
I want to hear.
It's your home court.
All right. So since I'm doing for I Saw the Devil, now I know a lot of people haven't seen this movie, although I was surprised a little bit with the turnout with voting on this one. But still, like, I know it's still kind of a relative because they've been talking about an American remake, but that's a whole different thing. So, the thing about this movie, why I love this revenge story so goddamn much.
What is it about it?
Korean.
So, the little bit of the plot of the movie is that there's this right at the beginning, there's a serial killer going on the loose.
Okay.
There's this car on the side of the road, and there's a woman in there who's like who's just like on the side, right? So this guy comes up, who's a serial killer, tries to offer help and everything. Well, guess what? He actually kills her at that right there, and then takes her to his house, dungeon, murders her, tortures her, and all that.
He's a cannibal too?
Well, it so happened.
He's Buffalo Bill with
but
it.
there are cannibals in this movie.
Oh, okay. I'm reading real
Ooh.
quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Who directed the picture?
The thing is
Yoko?
that woman.
Kim
Who directed the picture?
Kim Ji-won.
I love
Yeah,
the
like he also made another. Like he's been good at in the kind of action Korean cinema.
Oh, okay.
But now the thing is that woman was actually the bride to be of a detective.
Bride.
So the detective now, like, he takes his time off and hunts the killer. But the thing is, like, he doesn't kill him. He puts a tracker on him, and every time he's about to do something bad, he goes in, punches his ass, and then leaves him to go free again. So he keeps on doing this. So he keeps on doing it, where it's the point where it's just this final confrontation between them two, and they're just at each other's throats.
It kind of sounds
And
like what they
it's
did
just-
with. I haven't seen the picture yet, but it sounds a lot like the new Denzel picture with with the singer Academy Award winner guy. Shit, what's his name? I think it's called The Little Things.
Pretty Little
with
Things.
Jared Leto.
No,
Right?
the
Jared
Little
Leto.
Things,
Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Jared Leto, Denzel.
No, I haven't seen that one
Leto,
yet.
man. Don't say whip. It's Leto.
Jared
Yeah,
Leto.
the thing is that there's this.
Whip.
It's just one of the reason why I love this movie so much is because it's that whole sense of how revenge can leave you cold-blooded enough
Overtake you.
where it blinds you so much that you don't know exactly if how evil you are yourself.
Oh, it's one of
That's
those
why I
questions.
saw the devil, because it's like
Yeah.
I might be the devil myself
That's
because
a
I'm
good-
doing the same shit that he does.
Okay, that's a good first
Interesting.
round, Yoko.
Interesting.
That's a good first-
Or am I worse?
Dude, I
And
want to see
especially
Alright.
the way
this
this movie
episode.
ends, which I'm gonna leave it to your guys' imagination.
I like it.
It
I like
ends
it.
brutal.
Did you question yourself?
Oh my god, I have.
Oh, dude, I like those type of films. Okay, okay.
All right, Sanchez, what's your take on Kill Bill? Then I'll let you kick it off.
Kill Bill. What stands out about Kill Bill as a revenge?
Why is it a better revenge story?
Tarantino. Enough said.
Oh, damn.
No, I mean,
Good
look,
round, boys.
well,
Just
it's
the
about
plot
the
alone.
bride, you know. There's a lot of mystery behind the bride, and all you need to know from the start is that she's pissed the fuck off. She's pissed.
Ooh.
Like, this starts off with just like
Top
ass
round,
kicking, and then they slowly start piecing the story like in small flashbacks or like, but like the whole reason why she's so pissed off, it's like almost a mystery until like very later, you know, way later in the movie. But like, I think that's what it is, the rage, because like you could you know, like, you sympathize with the main character. She's doing everything like a strong woman, like motherly instinct, you know, like she's trying to like wiggle her toe, like she's really remembering her training and like all this stuff, and she already has the sets of skills, you know. She's just isn't some girl, like she has
bonus points.
That's a bonus. A what?
No, bonus points for the story kicking off in El Paso, Texas. I'm just saying.
Right, that's true. Oh, and she gets her fucking shit shot. Like, you know, like she gets shut the fuck out of, you know, her blood splatters and this and that. And then, I mean, she went through shit. She got in a coma for how long? And then she got raped while she was in coma. So, I mean, I think the biggest
there's
thing
a lot to get revenge for.
Yeah.
Huh?
There's a
lot to get revenge for.
Yeah, exactly. So you like, so you root for this character a lot, and that's what I love about this film. Like, you end up rooting for it. It doesn't make you feel bad for killing people, you know, or the consequences of revenge that they always try to like do that theme in every revenge film, you know. So I really like this one because it really gets you off the hook with the whole killing everything that's in front of you, you know.
Yeah, my so 2 cents with this picture, like with Kill Bill, my 2 cents is the fact that I think that, number one, Tarantino stole from everybody successfully in this film, like, because, you know, Tarantino steals from everybody, and he stole from everybody so successfully in this film.
Even Taxi Driver, I think it was a Taxi Driver reference around there.
Oh yeah, oh sure. I think Kill Bill is the definition, or one of the best visual representations of stylistic cinema. I think the style in this picture is genius because of borrowing from Hong Kong cinema, of borrowing from classic revenge stories, of borrowing from classic American pictures. Like it's stylistic in the best way, in the best modern way. And come on, man, RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan did the fucking music for this whole picture, and it works perfectly. RZA, the leader of the Wu-Tang Clan, does the fucking music for this, and then later it goes on to become a director, by the way, RZA, thanks to Tarantino.
Yeah.
Like, and he makes Hong Kong, you know, kung fu pictures. Black dude from New York, black rapper dude from New York makes Hong Kong kung fu pictures, you know. But anyways, I think just Kill Bill, the biggest best thing it has going for it, apart from the fact that the story, Eric's right, like, not only does she have a lot of revenge to get for, she didn't get fucked over by just one person. She got fucked over by everybody that she trusted, everybody that was in her crew, you know, everybody that she came up with to a certain degree in the underground. So there's a lot going for her in terms of the classic Tarantino chapter style storytelling. I'm going after this person, chapter 1. I'm going after that person, chapter 2. I'm going after this person, chapter 3. And by the way, volume 2 is the better picture. I know we're not talking about volume 2, but in my opinion, volume 2 is the better one.
I always counted Kill Bill as like
as one. Okay, yeah.
Minus points for bringing up other films to complete your film
that's
story.
true.
Well, no, I didn't. Yoko defended me. We're talking about the same picture.
I'm gonna give you that one.
No, I'm not. So minus points.
But it's just just the second half of the Kill Bill franchise, just stylistically, her training of going up and how she revealing Carradine as Bill. It's just genius, man. Like, it's one of Tarantino's best, hands down.
Okay. Do you want your final question, or are you going to rebuttal? You can rebuttal.
I'm gonna rebuttal real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Of why, again, with the same question of why I Saw the Devil still is a better revenge story.
Okay.
But using with something that Kill Bill opens with. So Kill Bill opens with the famous quote, "Revenge is a dish best served cold."
Ooh, you want some?
The thing is, Kill Bill, like all her vengeance as she goes down the list, she kills everybody, right? She goes, deals with it. That's it. I Saw the Devil, though. He really is calculated. He really takes his soup cold because he's not gonna go kill that guy. He's gonna investigate who he was first. He's gonna get him. Then right when you think he's gonna kill him, well, he's not. He has a plan for him. So right after that, then when he has another chance to kill him, guess what? Nope, that's not it. And so he keeps on toying with him. That's patience. That he knows exactly what he's doing to him.
Minor rebuttal, Delao and Eric, if you have anything else to say, obviously, but minor rebuttal. What's better, mentally torturing one guy or going across continents and going through multiple people to really send the message of revenge? Because it's not necessarily just to get revenge on those individuals. It's to send the message to Bill that I'm fucking coming for you. Do you know what I mean? So it's going across multiple continents and people and locations and stories and it's backdrops. So what's more, you know what I mean? What
slowly destroying a guy?
Killing one. I mean, getting one guy, not killing, but torturing one dude or torturing a ton of people to get to the final guy that we're trying to torture.
Awesome. Ooh, that's tough. Ultimately, I think I had to go destroy the fuck out of everything he owns. Like work from the bottom all the way to the top because it's just so satisfying going through like everybody.
It's like Mortal Kombat. You go through each player just to get to the
like it's just. I feel like it's more satisfying, more kills.
Okay.
All right. So you got your question, Delo.
Okay. Now, I guess pre-question. Would you say that your film, and this is not for points, but Yoko, with your film, is it more action heavy or is it more kind of like tension sequence heavy, drama heavy? Like, where do you
thriller horror?
Thriller horror. Okay.
Thriller horror.
That's perfect. Now,
especially on the gore part.
We just came off of talking about a film that I think a lot of people found the success in it being a revenge film was the action sequences. Now, for you guys doing Kill Bill, how did the action, I want to say, elevate it? And then for you, Yoko, how is maybe not necessarily being an action film playing in the favor of this film more and, like, I guess, growing the genre of revenge films?
More realistic, Tom.
Okay, do you guys want to do this one or me?
Eric, you want to open it up or you want to let...
No, go ahead first.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, you can play on it, but basically I want to hear like how you felt.
I already have my answer, man. I already have my answer, but like, let's go, Yoko. Let me get it. Give it to me.
Okay, although this is more on the thriller horror side, I do want to emphasize it does really involve the horror side.
Okay.
The simple fact that this serial killer is a torturer, and this serial killer has friends who are cannibals, who are
Paint a picture for me, Yoko. Like thriller horror, you're talking like Silence of the Lambs, or are you talking like
more on the more on the Silence of the Lambs, but more extreme.
Okay.
Okay.
Because there is actually big elements of gore in this movie.
Okay.
Not so far like hostile gore,
okay.
but there are moments where you will see heads just like dropping down.
So let me frame the question like this then. How is it that your film's genre better portrayed the revenge film, like I guess kind of like plot? So like in this case, like horror thriller, how did that better serve the revenge film plot?
Well, it sounds like it didn't go the typical route of just killing everybody to get to the boss.
So
go for Yoko.
I think we're in the lag here.
Okay, were you able to get my question? Okay, or hello? Can you? Okay,
we can hear you now, Yoko. I don't know.
All right.
Yoko, were you able to get my question?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
I just it's slow, but I got it.
All right, slow burn.
How does that benefit? Well, the simple fact that that you actually have to see the brutality of what the detective is doing, not to the serial killer. You have to see it because you need to see this detective be transformed, being to what you think like something that this serial killer deserves. But the fact that you have to question yourself, that is it too far? Is it too much? Is what he's doing with the guy I'm supposed to be rooting for? Is it still excuse that what he's doing?
It's the hero becoming the anti-hero, and do I still root for him after that? Yeah.
Exactly, and which is a big theme of that in Death Sentence as well. And I think that's exactly where it relates with Death Sentence.
Right. I'm kidding, Yoko. I love you, man. I love you. No. Fuck me.
I will. Don't worry.
Oh, thank you. Okay, look, I think Eric, I'll give my quick answer and then you can say whatever you want. But I think the scene to answer your first question, Delo, about like how does the violence or the genre kind of emphasizes. I think Kill Bill is a style. The way I define it is it's a stylistic genre picture. It's playing with genre. It's playing with Hong Kong. Well, it's not just Hong Kong, but it's playing with Kung Fu cinema in a fun, modern American way. And it uses every technique. I think this film is where Tarantino mastered his pop zoom, like the classic Tarantino pop zoom, because you see it a little bit before in other pictures, but this is where he mastered it. And then now you see it in Django. Now you see it in The Hateful Eight. Now you see, you know what I mean? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I think it's a stylized genre picture, and everything is enhanced because of that. To answer your question, the scene of the Crazy 88. The scene of the Crazy 88 is fucking amazing. It's an amazing scene from start to finish. And how are you having to get through all these individuals just to get to the ringleader, and then the fight with the ringleader in the snow outside, and the blood and the red contrast against the white snow, and it's just fucking insanely good, just emphasizing the picture in its genre. And using visual elements and using the dialogue. The dialogue of Kill Bill is so good, even though it's trying to be bad. It's trying to be this Kung Fu cinema, and it's good. And the fucking dialogue is good. You know what I mean? So I think it just enhances everything about the genre and about the style of the revenge story.
Like if they animated a cartoon in real life, it's weird. Like,
and he used animation in this too. That was awesome. Like the anime sequence of Kill Bill is it's one of my favorite sequences in the whole film.
That was I think the bloodiest anime that I ever first saw.
Yes,
I think that was the first.
It's so good. I don't know enough about anime. You guys, I've only seen a couple, but didn't somebody do it for Tarantino that's like really popular in anime? Like,
I think
I would have to look into that. Yeah,
honest. But I imagine so.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah. Anyways, Eric, what else do you have to add, man? Like, how does I don't know.
Oh man, like the genre for what it is, it uses it in a fantastic way. I mean, the Crazy 88 fight. I mean, that's enough said, man. Like that's a lot of people you have to go through, and it uses it perfectly. It's like almost in video games. Like this movie feels like a video game. Like you go through with levels throughout levels. You start off in the beginning, and then like it goes through all this side quest and
like Tarantino is the family guy. Like he's the family guy of side quests, dude. Like he's like
a side quest, and like he has to get the sword. She remembers her training and all this crazy stuff, and he journeys over there, and you have to do the investigating thing to like find the hideout or whatever, and then wham, you get like the main boss fight. You have to fight all these fuckers with the sword, and all right, then finally you get to the final boss, and then you move on from there. But yeah, it uses a style like the genre for it, like it's fitting. And I've seen movies where like it's hard to like remember films that is horror, thriller, revenge. Like it's tough for me to remember some of them, and the ones I remember or that I know of, it's almost not necessarily forgettable, but it's like, all right, move on.
That was fun, and leave it where it's
fun with action. If it's action or like Kill Bill or Punisher, because I remember a movie like kind of like if it's kind of like I Saw the Devil, more like in the torture or like this, you start questioning yourself and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know the name of this film, but I saw it so long ago. It's about parents. Their child is killed by this guy, and they capture him, and all they do
Last House on the Left
movie is torture him.
Last House on the Left?
I think. I don't know.
No, it's another one.
But like, I mean, I guess spoiler alert if you guys don't mind. I don't know even the title of the movie.
I don't care.
They put his head inside a microwave, and they.
Oh yeah, it was the Last House.
They finally decide to kill him at the end, and they blow up his head with the microwave.
Nice.
Wow.
So, it took forever to get that satisfaction to just like kill him. Because it's nice to torture someone, but like, all right, for a whole hour and something minutes with the whole cops investigating where's this guy, like, you guys looking mad sus.
It's cool. It's cool that you mentioned the side quests of Kill Bill, dude, because like the story about the girl, the young girl, the high school chick.
Yeah. It's
like that's fun.
But it was great.
But it was great. Her fucking killing dudes that are trying to hit on her, and like it's so like every side little.
What is it? What's she doing? Cuts his dick off.
Me? Isn't it I who's penetrating you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
Little rebuttal.
Yeah, you need it.
The way I classify more the last scene on both of these movies, almost. Well, Kill Bill almost, but it's basically the last scene, the last motion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so? In Kill Bill, the very last is that she's completed her task. She's done all the revenging. She kills Bill, and gets her daughter back. She goes to the bathroom and just starts crying.
Oh, that's such a good scene.
Just crying and just like God damn, I did all this and everything. Then she gets out of it and just bees with her daughter.
Takes her home,
the thing is that, and I Saw the Devil, which is actually the shot that I put in this as a reference here. This shot is also similar, where the detective, he basically spoiler.
You can spoil it, yeah.
He kills off the killer. He puts him like in this kind of like trap in a way where his family is supposed to open the door and his head gets chopped off. Like and the thing is that it's his father, his mother, and his son.
Right.
Outside. Now, what's great about that scene is that you don't see what actually happens there. He has like his cell phone and you could hear everything, right? And he just has it like he's just listening to what's happening, and that's what you're doing. You're just listening to what's happening.
Okay.
And that moment where you hear the knife go, he breaks down. The detective breaks down.
Really?
He felt everything. Yes, he got the revenge. But at what cost?
So, at what cost? He lost himself.
It truly broke me when I saw it. And Kill Bill, even though I saw it the moment that I saw the movie, that when I was even more impressionable and everything, it didn't break me down as it did
as heavy.
this. And I think that's the real thing of revenge.
Okay.
Okay.
But you know what? You know what? I just want
Final question. Final question. Okay. Which film rhymes more with "I saw the schmevel"? Eric, you can go first.
I just want to add this.
Kill Bevel.
I just want to add who plays the daughter. Who plays who her parents are in real life gets all the credit. It's like, come on, and Kill Bill.
Who?
It's
Irrelevant.
fucking Bruce Willis's daughter.
Oh yeah,
irrelevant.
I forgot that it was something. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's Bruce Willis's kid. She comes out in like every other Tarantino film just because of that.
Wow.
What? I didn't know
It's
this.
true.
I think it's Bruce Willis and Mia. What's her name?
Demi Moore?
Who is it? Is it Demi? No, it's not Demi Moore, is it? It's not one of Demi Moore's kids. He was married to this chick, to the Kill Bill chick, to what's her name?
Oh,
What?
Uma
Or
Thurman?
something.
No,
I
no,
forget.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke
and Uma Thurman.
Dang, Delo.
All right.
That's 2 points off for him. Just for
All right. All right.
Is it Ethan Hawke? I thought it was Bruce Willis.
know your facts.
Oh, what the fuck?
Hold on.
All right.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
What?
What?
All right. So I got the results in. Are you guys ready?
Are you ready?
I don't know, man. I'm scared. All right. So the winner is I Saw the Devil.
Of course.
You know you put that one on.
You know what, Yoko? You saved it because I had like on my phone at the very end. I was like, "Nah, you're missing a couple of points. Like, Kill Bill's gonna have to take it, but I am gonna give it to I Saw the Devil for one in promotion of foreign cinema and Asian and Pacific Islander thing because I guess we're being politically accurate.
There you go. We're celebrating that this
yeah.
month.
I just yanked out my headphone cords, but. No, some of the points you brought up, Yoko, I think it's really interesting that they were able to play with that kind of like horror genre for a revenge film. I feel like that's not something you see too often in that genre because you're looking for more of like escaping the killer. But I mean, the story that you're painting of like transforming into the killer and like the cost of revenge. And I mean, even that, like what you're saying, the final scenes of you finally got your revenge. You did everything perfect, but at what cost, and having that kind of weight and tension of seeing how you've changed and you can't fix that and the repercussions around you that you can't fix. Also, you talking about, I guess, the way it builds tension throughout the film because it's always like, is he going to kill him? He doesn't kill him. He's coming back for him, going back and forth. I just feel like everything that you're describing is something that it's not only taking that horror genre, but it's really playing with it. It's playing, what is it called? The revenge theme, but really playing with it, twisting it, using its full potential in this film. And yeah, no, I feel like there's a lot of really strong points for Kill Bill. I mean, of course, Tarantino, one of his finest works that everybody's talking about, that I mean, everybody says you have to watch this film. Stylistically, yes, it accomplishes a lot. Action-wise, yes, it's accomplishing a lot. But I think what kind of threw it over the edge is just what it didn't change anything as far as the revenge film because it used the same action formula of like being a badass and trying to take everybody down so you could get there. Exactly. But at the end of the day, I want to kind of lean towards something that was willing to play with it. And at least from what I'm hearing, did it successfully. So yeah, that's going to be my final resting point on this one.
That's pretty good, though. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I know Carlos
I think this is
smashing.
almost the first time where the popular movie
turned on the camera.
He's throwing chairs at Disneyland.
What world am I knocking on everybody's
Why are
room?
there less posters than behind you?
No, I'm kidding. No, I know, right? They're smashed already. No, it's because I'm on my phone, so I have to switch between tabs, and when I switch tabs, it like turns off the camera. No, yeah, I mean, hey, it sounds like this, like your pick, Delo. I mean, Yoko, it sounds like it'd belong in like Criterion, honestly.
It is one of those like on the like Asian on that Asian Criterion type of releases. That comes out. Right.
Yeah, but I think it's really interesting because I mean, there's the obvious thing, and even with the other films that we're kind of referring back to, or like I did with like The Equalizer and John Wick and these revenge stories, it's like the action always makes the ending more satisfying, and it always like kind of pushes like how's it going to get even better, and how are they going to have to fight off like more adversaries. But when the monster that you're end up having to fight off at the end that you can't overcome is yourself, that adds a whole new twist to it, and I feel like that really elevates the revenge story, and that's something that I feel like this film it sounds so unique for. So yeah, that's kind of where I want to take it. That's where I want to leave it off on. Yeah,
the audience saw that coming. That's pretty
I
good.
don't think
you needed this win, Yoko, after death sentence.
Oh,
man.
somebody's
I
sword.
feel good about
kidding.
about that sentence.
you stand tall, Yoko, because
Yeah, man, you came with
you
it, man.
deserve it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what your next pick is going to be, Yoko. I'll be honest with you. I'm very
Just watch
curious.
the next time we get on this. He's like, I'm starting my own podcast with Blackjack.
Fucking woolly mammoth.
Any preview to your next pick, Yoko?
Well, next pick. Well, it's not, mine's not my next pick.
It's ways away, but we do have the Mr. Austin Young giving us his pick. Do you have time to let us know what that would be, Austin?
That's just rude of you to treat me like that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What treat you like that?
But it's going to be the kindergarten teacher.
Kindergarten teacher?
That's the one with Gyllenhaal, right?
I can see.
Yeah,
Carlos dying.
Gyllenhaal.
I
Maggie
thought for a
Gyllenhaal.
second kindergarten cop. I was like, hey, that's cool.
Hey, y'all want to be on the next episode? Kindergarten teacher, man. Yeah, it's an interesting one. That's it's a touchy one. It's a touchy
I've
one.
been wanting to see that one.
Yeah, it's touchy for sure. I think you'll like it, Yoko. It's very touchy.
Ugh, kids.
Alrighty then. Well, I think that ends off our.
Very touchy. Very touchy.
Did you not like that description for a
I don't
film?
like it. I don't want to watch.
21.
No, it's touchy.
It'll-
It's
Especially
touchy.
a movie called the
It's
Kindergarten
like a
Teacher.
It's like a play on words. Like it's touchy subject matter, and it's like touchy on your emotions because it's a very emotional picture, and then it's interesting. Man. It's an interesting movie.
Alrighty.
There you go.
I guess that's what it's going to be. This show is now becoming. We have to demolish each other now with films.
No, this show is now becoming Tara Carlos a new one for not liking cinema outside of whatever.
By the way, after
I mean,
that,
we already do, but that's a whole other thing.
after
Right.
Austin's pick, my pick is the 2004 smash hit SpongeBob movie, featuring
Oh,
David
dude.
Hasselhoff,
Greatest cinema ever.
directed by
And
Steven
Danny Trejo?
Spielberg and Danny Trejo. Yeah,
Danny Trejo.
Be fun.
the incomparable Oscar nominated, if I'm not mistaken.
So,
Oscar nominate these nuts still out because
It's the happiest place on earth.
well,
Any
one
last
thing
words,
I'm glad
Yoko?
about this review, though, is that at least this was a movie that actually sparked debate, and that's the best thing that a movie can do. If
Oh,
it was
yeah,
just
absolutely.
boring, like at least even if you hate it, if you love it, I love the fact that this movie gave us something to talk about.
oh yeah,
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
absolutely.
I was like,
I was very,
watch
very
that
like
movie.
honestly, Yoko, when we saw it, like Austin obviously had shit to say about the editing and story, and then the Lao came in and was like the cinematography, like I'm unsure what choices they're making and why, and we were like, okay, then we're on the same page. Maybe everybody else will be too, and we're just gonna figure it out. And then Yoko, obviously you love the picture, and then Castro was like, "What are you guys talking about? That was pretty good." And then Sanchez was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? That was great."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What? Okay, now we have to talk about
Yeah.
this. 'Cause What the fuck am I missing?" So yeah, that was
But
good.
then I told these guys because like I asked who picked the movie, and then it was like Yoko. I was like, oh, poor guy, you guys are gonna tear him a new one. 'cause
I gotta come in the podcast.
Look, he was against
But then he said, but clearly that man has good taste in film.
Yeah. That was a good pick.
I mean, I think it did help that in the chats leading up to this movie, I would always pitch this as the Citizen Kane. Like I would always play with it. Like,
Oh my god.
guys, this is a perfect movie, guys. You're gonna love this movie.
I
You
mean,
Yeah,
Like,
you
you
kept
know-
teasing me, Yoko. You kept teasing me like Carlos is gonna be so excited. from the amazing masterpiece of cinema that he's about to see.
You know, we were becoming the pretentious film podcast. We were becoming like, oh, now 8.5 Cinema Paradiso. You know, I'm sorry, Carlos, that they were both your picks, but you know, it was just we were becoming like, we review films that are deemed by the Academy to be like gold, and I mean that's not what cinema is. Cinema is about.
All right, it's all right, guys. You guys are the raspberry to my pinky swoosh while I drink my tea bit. You know, like you guys are the.
Wow! Wow!
The nice and
that was a
fruity.
low blow, dude.
Gave bad reviews to The Thing when it first came out.
Exactly.
You know what, man? You wanted to kill dogs, Eric, and watching pictures. So I'm not. I'm always gonna.
Let me remind you. Nobody liked Citizen Kane when it came out.
And if you ask
liked
my
Cable Guy
girlfriend, nobody still likes it. So
According to Austin, that's the greatest movie ever.
Hey, Paddington 2 is the greatest movie ever.
Yeah, Paddington 2 beat Citizen Kane recently, which is odd.
Wait, are you serious? There's a
critic reviews wise, it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Which by the way, you guys need to start taking that site more seriously. It is very accurate. It's actual critics. Rotten Tomatoes.
Paddington 2.
Trusted. Yeah, no.
It has the more.
There's a lot of movies there that they just give them a bad review.
Most people think that it's like, oh no, dude, those things are never right or never accurate. Yeah, they really are. But if you want like audience choices, then go to the other meters. But for critics, like Rotten Tomatoes is actually very accurate. Like, oddly enough.
Well, that just about does it for our film discussion, debate, at each other's throats. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Eric, for joining us for this special episode.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, look at that pretty smile. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on SoundCloud, he was smiling. SoundCloud.
I know. Rappers now.
If you're listening on any
when the fuck did we become basement rappers?
If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any podcasting platform, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Carlos, for joining us, and hopefully I made you proud as temporary host while you're away in the greatest place on earth.
Yeah, man. My wife might divorce me for coming out here and doing the podcast, but it'll be fine.
Very much should. And thank you all for tuning in. It's been fun. We're going to be talking about The Kindergarten Teacher next time. And this was a lot of fun. I think this podcast is going to grow into something kind of spooky real soon, but we're glad that you joined us for this episode.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Eric Sanchez is going to make us do the fucking Killer Tomatoes movie next, so it'll be fine. We'll just talk about.
Oh, that's really?
No, I don't know. I just like
Eric. We need to have some of your picks come in here because
better than that, Carlos.
You're better than that. I mean, at a certain point in time, I really wanted to have Sharknado. I own it on DVD. It is
Which one? Which one?
I've never seen it.
The first one.
There's like 10
you like
movies.
Sharknado?
The third one's the best.
Oh, you know what I love? There's one film that you could just tell that it was when The Force Awakens came out, the Star Wars movie. That's when they made the fourth Sharknado film, and it's called The Fourth Awakens.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's
I'd actually be interested as to why Sharknado has like 10 pictures already or whatever number they're at now.
I think they're at 5, and then they called it quits once the sharks were from outer space.
I mean, hey man, if Tara Reid can revive, if Tara Reid can make franchises successful, I'm gonna cast her in my next picture.
If Birdemic could make it to Blu-ray. Oh god.
on Blu-ray. Well, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for joining us, and please send in any suggestions you have for films. We always love to talk very kindly about any films that are suggested to us on this show. But please keep tuning in, and thank you from wherever you're watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Evita el exceso.